On the Labor Day long weekend, when no one was paying attention to politics, Justin Trudeau thought it was the perfect time to make a sneak attack on Alberta children, on Christians in particular, and on democracy itself. Trudeau just made the most atrocious appointment to the Canadian Senate he's ever done, giving Alberta's most extreme transgender activist named Chris Wells a Senate appointment that will last more than 20 years. Because Trudeau did it on the long weekend, he's hoping to get away with it. But we've set up a petition at notmysenator.ca, and I'd ask you to go there right now to sign it. Our goal is to get 10,000 people to sign that petition in the next week. That's at notmysenator.ca. Let me give you some background. Chris Wells has spent 20 years promoting transgenderism, especially to children in schools where they're away from their parents. His life's work has been to get kids, when they're at school, to join sexuality clubs called gay straight alliances, and to keep what happens in those clubs a secret from parents. They encourage kids to start changing their pronouns, to start identifying as non-binary or trans. And here's the most terrifying part. They encourage these children to medically transition, that is to take hormones or even surgery to cut off their body parts. These are minor children in high school or even junior high. And all this happens without any notice to parents. That has been Chris Wells's life work in Alberta, targeting kids for transgenderism and fighting against any moves to give parents any notice of what's going on. Now Trudeau has just appointed him to the Senate, where he will surely try to do the same with parents and children across the country. Do you see why you have to go to notmysenator.ca? Do you see why I'm calling Chris Wells the most extreme Senate appointment Trudeau has ever made? He's not just a transgender extremist, he's deeply anti-Christian. He's an anti-Christian bigot. He spent years trying to roll back the rights of Christian schools in Alberta, largely because they don't agree with him on transgenderism. If it were any other religion he hated, he'd be immediately disqualified from public life. But Trudeau hates Christians too, so Wells is a perfect fit. Here's an example. Some years ago, the terrorist group ISIS was executing Christians in propaganda snuff films, showing horrific mass murders of Christians because they were Christians. Someone made a cartoon showing that horror and comparing it to the Nazi Holocaust against Jews. It was a powerful comparison because it was true. Well, Chris Wells took that cartoon and changed it. He changed the terrorist murderers from Islamic terrorists into Christians. And he changed the Christians being killed into LGBTQ activists. He literally reversed the morality of it. He changed Christians from being the victims into being the perpetrators. His message was clear. Christians are evil. Christians are terrorists. And Christians mass murder gay people and make propaganda videos about it. To him, Christians are as bad as ISIS. Total sicko, total liar, total anti-Christian bigot. That's who Trudeau just appointed to the Senate on behalf of Alberta. There are other terrible things here, as you may know. For decades, Alberta has had elections to choose its senators, as opposed to just accepting the personal friends of the Prime Minister. So it's an Alberta tradition to elect senators. There are democratically elected senators in waiting in Alberta right now. And there are 2 Senate vacancies from Alberta right now. But instead of appointing the winner of those legitimate elections, Trudeau just spat in their faces and in the faces of the hundreds of thousands of Albertans who voted for the legitimate senators. You think for a second Albertans or anyone would have voted for this anti-Christian, anti-family, pro-trans extremist Chris Wells? I think this is a very dark sign that Trudeau intends to ramp up his transgender activism in the remaining time he has in office. We'll be able to throw out Trudeau at the next election, but by putting this dangerous bigot in the Senate, he'll be there for more than 20 years trying to poison our children. You've got to sign the petition at notmysenator.ca. Go there right now. Thanks.